When you hear the word surrogacy, what comes to mind? Probably high-tech clinics, IVF labs, and legal contracts. But what if I told you surrogacy is far from just a modern marvel? In fact, the idea of one woman carrying a child for another is as old as civilization itself, woven into ancient law codes and royal bloodlines. Today, we are not just talking about science, we are uncovering a deeply human story, one that connects the unseen mothers of history to the modern miracle makers helping families grow today. In today's world, when we hear word surrogacy, our minds often leap to images of cutting-edge science, high-tech fertility clinics, and complex legal arrangements. It feels inherently modern, doesn't it? A testament to 21st century medical ingenuity helping those who dream of parenthood overcome seemingly unsurmountable hurdles. But what if I told you that the concept of another woman carrying a child for a family who couldn't have one themselves, the fundamental desire and arrangement isn't a modern innovation at all? What if this practice in various forms has existed for millennia, woven into the very fabric of human history, society, and even our most sacred text? Today, we are going on a journey through time exploring the unseen mothers throughout history. We'll discover that while the methods and the names have evolved, the underlying human desire for lineage, family, and overcoming the heartbreak of childlessness is a story as old as civilization itself. Let's start with perhaps the most famous or infamous ancient accounts of surrogacy, the biblical narratives. Before IVF, before sperm banks, before even a clear ultrasound of genetics, societies understood the need for an heir, especially for patriarchal lineages, and sometimes nature had other plans. Consider the story of Abraham and Sarah in the book of Genesis. Sarah, unable to conceive, says to Abraham in Genesis chapter 16, verse 2, "Behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her." Before I proceed, I want to say sorry if I didn't read it properly. To continue, so Abraham takes Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian servant, and she bears him a son, Ismail. Hagar was essentially a gestational surrogate for Sarah, albeit without a scientific understanding of the process. Now, this wasn't an isolated incident. Later, Jacob's beloved wife Rachel, also struggling with infertility, gives her handmaid Bilhah to Jacob, who then bears Dan and Naphtali. Now Rachel declares, "God has judged me and has given me a son," when Dan is born. Then Rachel's sister Leah, fearing she would stop having children, also gives her maid Jilpah to Jacob, who bears Gad and Asher. In these narratives, the handmaids bear children on behalf of their mistresses, serving a clear societal and familial purpose of securing offspring and lineage. These aren't just isolated biblical tales. Historical and anthropological evidence suggests similar practices were common across the ancient Near East. Now, the Code of Hammurabi, a Babylonian legal text from around 1754 BC, has provisions for what we might interpret as a form of surrogacy or an heir-bearing arrangement. If a wife was infertile, a husband could take a second wife or concubine to produce an heir, and that child would often be considered the child of the first wife. The purpose was maintaining the family line and inheritance. In ancient Egypt, fertility was paramount, linked to both terrestrial prosperity and the afterlife. While not clearly surrogacy, there were complex adoption and inheritance laws that prioritize lineage, sometimes involving intricate arrangement to ensure continuation of the family name if biological children weren't forthcoming. Roman law also had robust provisions for adoption, often used to secure male heirs from prominent families when biological ones were absent. While not involving another woman bearing the child, it fulfilled a similar societal need to secure lineage. By the way, if you or someone you love is considering surrogacy, whether due to fertility challenges, health reasons, or as a same sex couple, our team at MediPocket Surrogacy USA offers ethical, end to end surrogacy coordination with top US IVF clinics. We work with intended parents from the Middle East, Asia, Europe, and across the globe, ensuring complete legal protection, world-class medical care, and compassionate guidance every step of the way. Visit MediPocketSurrogacyUSA.com or click the link in the description to speak with a global fertility concierge and take a complimentary advisory call. We are here to answer your question confidentially, professionally, and without pressure.